Well, YouTube people, it's official. We are too poor to collect trading cards. They are only for the rich. Upper Deck president Jason Mashra shining a spotlight on this with a LinkedIn post shared on Twitter that went hobby viral. This was circulating around where I first saw it, anyways, from Watch the Breaks over on Twitter, popular hobby Twitter account for the folks over there. And this post was made on LinkedIn by Upper Deck President. I'll leave this on the screen. You can go ahead and read through it. I'm not going to read it word for word. But basically, his and very accurate take is that most things in life, not even trading cards right now, are in a very speculative phase that is driving prices up. Things are getting more expensive, and most of the money getting spent on things are coming from the top 10%. As he points out, concert tickets, $1,000 for the nosebleeds. We've seen it with WWE. Their tickets are extremely expensive now. Hell, I was looking at some Cavs tickets the other day. Those were insanely expensive now. Topps jumbo boxes of basketball are over $400 now on the secondary market. So a small percentage of folks are driving up the prices for everything else, making it harder for the normals to be able to afford these type of, let's just call it what they are, luxury items. Going to games, concerts, buying boxes, buying in the breaks, hell, even collecting cards to some degree or another could fall into that bucket. Now, this is something the comment section folks have been talking about for a while. That is not new. The narrative around this is not new. Go read the comments on any video and you will see sentiment like this. Any sports card video, anyway. The interesting part here is the president of a company, a trading card company, no less, calling this out. Now, the key question is, if this is what is driving prices, and he says, the sky's not falling here, but the amount of hype is out of control. But if it's the top 10% driving a lot of the hype, the prices, etc., behind these markets, what happens when that top 10% stops, slows down, isn't buying in anymore? Are they the ones that are going to get hurt? Sure, a little bit, but they could probably take the punch. But if it sends everything spiraling down, us people in the middle and the bottom are the ones that really get crushed. He talks about in this post about how sports cards have always been speculative and how you would go after a rookie card hoping they become a Hall of Famer. The problem now is, this isn't him speaking, this is me. The problem is the hype around new released players and product bakes all that stuff in. We've talked about this for years now. Mac Jones PSA 10 Donruss base card sells for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on the hopes, dreams, prayers, and wishes of him having a Hall of Fame career when he had played like 3 games. These card prices of these high-flying, pumped, hyped rookies are entering the market higher than what guys that have established Hall of Fame careers. These guys would be lucky to have a fraction of the career some of these players have had, and their cards sell for way more. I think I did examples over the summer, looking at baseball. Baseball prospects are the craziest extreme on this, in my opinion, because a lot of the times you're paying insane prices for guys in single A, double A, maybe triple A if you're lucky. And their first Bowman in just a regular old base auto, nothing super fancy, in a PSA 10 will outsell a player that has had a Hall of Fame career. You know, a perfect example, he hit a home run last night. Freddie Freeman. Now, maybe not after last night, his stuff is as cheap, but generally speaking, Freddie Freeman, you could get a really nice rookie card or Bowman auto of Freddie Freeman for a reasonable price compared to what guys' prices are coming out today. Look at like what Jesus Medeiros stuff sells for compared to established players, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. You know, the list goes on and on. I can name guys for days, and that's just in baseball. Let alone now go look at football. And I do think baseball is worse, but go look at what rookie quarterbacks sell for out of the gate compared to Hall of Famers. You know, Mahomes, sure, it's justified. He at least has some receipts to back up what his card prices do. But go look at what Drake May prices are up to these days. Go look at what Jaden Daniels stuff was selling last year for. Go look at 2 years ago what CJ Stroud stuff was selling for. And we see what happens. The hype wears off and the prices come crashing down. Now, he talks about box prices in here. When box prices cost $1,000 or more, you're not buying for fun anymore. You're speculating. You're betting what you buy today will be worth significantly more tomorrow. Quote. How did we get to $1,000 box prices? A few different things. In my opinion, there's one key contribution to it. Some folks will push back on it, but I think it's pretty tough to dispute if you actually use logic, reasoning, and take your biases out of it. Breaking. Breaking has, in my opinion, been one of the dominating forces driving up the prices of wax. It's really not that hard to figure out. If breakers were not as popular as they are today, if the companies were not steering you towards breaking, steering the distribution of product towards breaking, box prices would 100% be cheaper. The fact that breakers can mark up boxes and fractionalize the cost drives up the price because they are sucking up the demand for them on the secondary market. And it is skewed very heavily towards the breaking side of the world. Earlier in the pandemic days, things were a little more balanced. It wasn't quite as crazy when it comes to this. It swung even hard, and it was swinging that way back then. It's swinging even harder now in regards to the amount of product and the hype factor of the breakers compared to an average person opening a box. And I get it. From the manufacturer standpoint, it's super smart. It's a built-in sales team plus marketing, plus they're just sitting there creating viral moments all day long. You know, a breaker hits a big card, it's recorded. You get to snip that up in a 30-second reel and throw it out into the world, and that's free marketing for the company and for the breaker. Oh my God, we hit the 101, blah, 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 superty duperty, purple pixie dust, fairy wings refractor parallel numbered to 69. Holy smokes, we're rich. Cool. You make a 30-second clip out of it, you send it out, YouTube short, Instagram reel, TikTok, everyone sees it, everyone likes it, everyone gets hyped up for it. But what they don't show you is the 10 hours of streaming that nobody hit shit. The number of empty wrappers and boxes on the floor where there was no big hit. All you see is that. You see the 30-second excitement of joy. And that goes out across the internet. Goes viral. Hundreds of thousands of views in a lot of cases. Millions probably in some cases. That's all free marketing for the companies. And the breakers are their sales team. So of course they're going to favor them. It's a great distribution model for the companies. But that has driven up the price of wax, pricing out the average person from ripping. Now, I would argue from a collecting standpoint that you're still in a pretty okay place. But you might have to collect differently than what you used to. Talked about this before. Sure. Maybe you want to collect 2025 basketball tops. We'll use that as an example. I'll just use myself in this example. I really like the Cavs. I would love some of the gold mirrors, maybe a Donovan Mitchell All Kings, maybe some of the other inserts out of 2025 Topps basketball. It would be extremely fun. It would be a blast to go buy a case of jumbos or a handful more boxes and sit down and open them and try to do it the old school way by chasing them. But it's too expensive now, especially at secondary market prices of $400 a box. Primary market, when they first came out at $225, yeah, I bought 3. I ripped them. I had fun. I did okay. I had some good boxes. I had some bad boxes. I get the advantage of making content out of it. But I would like to continue to chase some Cavs cards out of it. Maybe some parallels, some short prints, some inserts, whatever. But the method of going about it is going to be different for me. I'm not going to go to my local LCS or online and buy a bunch of boxes and bring it home and rip it. Instead, I'm going to have to collect differently. And what does that mean? I'm going to set up saved searches, and I'm going to sit back and wait. Most of the stuff that I'm looking for is not impossibly rare. It's rare. Gold mirrors, hard to hit. All Kings seem pretty hard to hit. But I'm not buying them the week of release. I'm going to wait a month. I might wait 2 months. I'll wait for the next product to come out that everyone's all hyped up on. They're all chasing that. And then I'll circle back to those. I am not in a hurry for any of those cards. They're not going anywhere. I'm not looking for a 1 of 1 or an out of 2 or an out of 3 where it may never pop up again. Now, if I was, different case, different arguments to be made. So I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to be patient. I'll wait for the hype to die down, and then I'll swing in and grab the handful of cards that I want for, in all reality, probably a fraction of the price of what the 3 boxes that I bought were. And instead, maybe I'll have 10 to 12 cards that I actually truly want to own versus ripping the boxes and trying to chase them that way. Now, from a collecting standpoint, that's the smarter way to do it. But it's not as fun. We like ripping packs. We like degenning to a degree. The difference is, before, when we sat at the casino table, it used to be $1 to play a hand of blackjack. Now it's $25 a hand. It's the same game. The stakes have gone up. And now a lot of us can't afford to sit at the table anymore. You could still afford to collect. You just have to go about getting your poker chips a little bit differently. And people don't like that. They want to still go play blackjack for $1 a hand. Can't anymore. That's all I got. Curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Peace.